D-shift roll into some incredible play, or will Master Mage kind of carry to victory? Gengur versus BHANHacterox ExG, already taking 1 win previously with Kira Mango. Gengur looking to extend that to 2 wins in the first round-robin week. North America, the mulligans are out, and there's the pesky March Hare's Tea Time. Which, do you think you mulligan this? What is the strategy here for BHANHacterox mulliganing? What does he keep? What does he throw? What is he looking for?
All right, well, in this matchup, he knows he's playing against D-Shift, so he knows he has to get a very, very, very early start. And if, for those who may be wondering why he didn't keep, based on what I just said, why he didn't keep the other Beast Call Aria, is because Beast Call Aria against Rune is incredibly painful, because if it pops, it's great, but then Rune also runs Kaleidoscopic Glow, which could bounce it back. And you're just like, well, it feels awful. So it's like literally you just pass your turn.
Yeah, basically. It's worth getting down. We actually saw Gengur, even though we only boosted one thing, the Dimension Shift, by playing that Kaleidoscopic Glow onto Beast Call Aria, you almost always want to pop the Aria back into their hand, because if it ever reaches 2, they can dogma it, and you can't bounce a Tiger. So this is yep, just gonna happen.
Well, from what we can tell, Gengur doesn't necessarily have a way in hand to. Well, no, never mind. He does. Kind of. His Wind Blast is at what, 3?
His Wind Blast is not boosted at all, I don't think.
Oh, it's not at all. So if it's not boosted at all,
he drew it after the right. Yeah, he drew it after Kaleidoscopic Glow was played.
This is your fate.
So the Merlin will get a Fiery Embrace, and he'll obviously evolve it to take out the Tiger.
A revelation.
He doesn't want that Tiger evolving, hitting him back for 6, which would be way too bad. He's going to mill a card here on his next turn, unfortunately, but he's got half of his combo. As long as he doesn't ditch Destroyer, he should be okay.
Don't you hate that when you have to put yourself in a position where you have to, we have to draw, and then after you do it, you overdraw the card you really need?
It happens to me every single time. Not even exaggerating. Every single time. Draws the Insight. He can actually boost Wind Blast with that, but he goes for the Witch Bolt instead. Okay.
I think that's a fair line. Hold the Insight, hold the Wind Blast. That's fine.
Insight is a net gain of a lot of mana in this, a lot of play points in this hand. One play point to spell boost everything else in your hand by 1 is a huge net gain. So
it is, and he did manage to draw the Levy, so he will, if he wants, he will be able to add the Crimson Sorcery to hand if he wants that option.
I think he possibly could. This has to be hit by Wind Blast, though. It's not. Levi was not quite strong enough. He goes for a 0 play point Fate's Hand, which is usually something you save, because if he had saved it, he could have boosted this Fate's Hand, but it looks like he has the Conjure Golem, so he won't mill a card. He could also slap down. He could play Abomination.
At this point, I don't think he wants to overdraw anymore, right? So
yeah, for sure. You don't want to overdraw, but Abomination. If this it won't ever live. But if it lives, it will trigger naturally, because Gengur will draw into 9 next turn.
Yeah.
And it's dead.
That didn't last at all. Dead.
I mean, I can dream, right?
Yeah. He's sitting on these D shifts, and unfortunately, he just doesn't. He doesn't have a win condition yet.
This is your fate.
He doesn't have the win condition yet, but BHANHacterox is not doing too much. He's put almost no pressure. There's a Destroyer. BHANHacterox can't play Aegis until he's on 9 play points, so it can't come down next turn. Come down the turn after, though.
A revelation.
Well, this gets traded. This Merlin actually survives,
which is dangerous, very dangerous.
Yeah, it's a priority kill. You have to kill it. Period.
He does have a way of killing it with the cudgel. It's a very, very easy, clean kill. But Merlin will actually spell boost your entire hand every time she attacks, which is why she's usually always evolved. She draws 2 cards if she's evolved, but she always spell boosts your whole hand on attack. So that's why she's such a priority kill. She's only a 4/1, but you gotta get rid of her.
Yep. Priest of the Cudgel comes down, gonna get rid of this Merlin. And I mean, I guess he could just play his other Tribunal and keep his Priest healthy, which is. And moving on to Gengar's turn again.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Oh.
Yeah.
Burning an Insight feels bad, man.
Indeed, it does.
Unfortunately, this Flame Destroyer is still really heavy. It's not low at all right now. He can boost quite a bit this turn though. So ooh. That's a lot of
unlimited levy works. Plenty of levies.
A lot of levies.
Alright, so his D shift, I believe, I can't tell, but it looks like it's at 3, and the other one's at 7.
He's got one at 3 and one at 7. But his Destroyer is still pretty expensive. If he wants to boost this turn, I think all he has left is either evolving Levi and wasting Fireball Face, or he plays 2 Levis and bounces one of them back to his hand with his own Kaleidoscopic Glow.
Yeah, D-Shift is one of those decks that takes an unbelievable amount of time to play and to really learn, because sometimes you'll do things out of order, and if you had done them in the right order, you'll win, but you don't really know if you did it in the right order until after you've messed it up 1,000,001 times.
Oh! Does he have Levi lethal? If he evolves this Levi, he's got 2 D-Shifts here.
If this is lethal, I didn't see it at all.
He has 6/9, attacks 4. He does, yeah. 6/9.
That's it. Ow.
Because Destroyer can be played. Destroyer was too heavy the first time, but Dimensional Shift and Fireball, or Crimson Sorcery, made it cheap enough. He could have waited completely, but he actually saw lethal there.
Yeah, I totally missed it. Totally missed the lethal. I admit it, guys. I missed lethal.
But I mean, that's exactly what you just said, literally. If you play things out of order, I mean, missing lethal by 1 turn is definitely playing things out of order, I would say.
Yeah. Well, definitely. Yeah. Alright. Going into the second game. Well, we know that Gengur won't be playing B-Shift anymore because he just won with it. So we have Aegis versus Mid Shadow.
It's a classic matchup. Haven versus Shadow.
And no matter how quote-unquote prepared you are as Haven, Shadow always finds a way to, get around trying to. It's so frustrating.
They can, but remember, this is not... Gengur's not Cure Manga, so he's not playing every single face card in the game. So.
That's true. That's very true. It's very true.
Gengur could be a little bit slower.
Well, Hacterox does have the Heavenly Hound next turn, so we'll be able to trade with the Snow White, play the Heavenly Hound, and then trade again to take out something. He will have that line available to him.
Yep, that's actually really important that Heavenly Hound can come down. Snow White counts as an evolved creature here, so since she is literally evolved, that gives Heavenly Hound good and plus defense.
Just want to say that I really like the effect of fulfilling a requirement and then the card evolves without using evolution points. I really like that.
It's pretty cool, but she also had to be nerfed almost immediately, so... she used to be a 2/3 when evolved, which would have been insanely good against Gengur just now, because that Lurching Corpse wouldn't have cleared the board.
Well, I mean, you know, you're messing around with new mechanics, right? So, I mean,
Oh, yeah, for sure.
it's only fair that something kind of slips through the cracks just a little.
For sure. See, Prince Catacombs in Gengur's hand.
Well, that Prince Catacomb might end up being real good.
Or
Well,
real
maybe-
bad, if Hackdrox
Real
does
bad.
that Lion play.
Yeah, it's like, yep. And
Yep.
it's fine. Very little time to think about it.
Ancient Lion Spirit can wipe the board here. I think Hackdrox always goes for that. Now, Gengur has nothing to play Catacombs on.
Nope, but he does have a death, so... And there's no reason to Evo, because he can't kill the lion.
That is
Oh
true.
my good.
Cudgel is insane here.
Evil deeds end now.
Cudgel also lets this dog be played again, even though Lion already did that. Cudgel does too. He could actually play Demonic Simulacron if he wanted to right now, and it would actually get...
We know he's not running that.
No one's running that.
Right. Okay, so Prince Catacomb not doing anything. He went from, hey, this Prince Catacomb could be really good, to, hey, this Prince Catacomb doesn't do anything.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, it could do something. He could play the Lurching Corpse, he could play the Skull Beast and the... Or, right. So that's the thing?
What are you hiding inside?
Kinda. Yeah, he has Tribunal popping next turn, so he has to play more of a resilient board. But we're kind of seeing, like, the effects of just the different playstyles of Shadow. Like, Gengur's playing a more grindy list with corpses and probably has Necro Assassins in here. And instead of, like, a full aggro, neutral package, and Aegis is actually just probably going to be really useful for Hackdrox here.
Yeah.
Too much
I think-
obvious.
I think one of the biggest balances between, I know people complain about I guess a lot, but one of the biggest balances is that it's just really difficult to play it. Like, there are so many times, especially against a Shadow deck, where they're just going to keep filling up the board, you're going to be low on health, and you just can't play it,
Very similar to Seraph, basically.
Very similar, yeah. And it's one turn later than Seraph.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Ooh, the
Curate.
Curate. He's gonna evolve
necessarily-
too, which
Such merciless fighting.
him evolving
that means
here...
that he can't evolve the Aegis later, which does make it a little less pressuring.
Yeah, I was just wondering about that. Like, do you think that was a wise call? Like, to Evo here instead of something else? Or...
Well, I think he just wanted the pressure. Because a 7-3 is kind of a big deal. The skeleton can't evolve, though. It's gonna force Gengur's last evolve out of him. Whoa! Thane's evolving instead.
Well... And he's leaving up the 7-3.
That's gonna get Themis, probably, so...
Well, yeah, this is a hit him in the face in Themis turn, but...
Mm-hmm.
And we know that Gengur doesn't necessarily have, great options for the next turn.
Actually, Death's Breath into White King into a top deck
but it won't stop him
really
from playing
good.
his Icons.
Oh yeah, but
There's no way he's from playing Icons.
right, but Hackdrox popped his last evolve. Didn't play the White King. Interesting. Hackdrox popped his last evolve, so he can't evolve the Aegis. It doesn't do anything this turn.
That's true. That is true. I mean, I think since you've already committed to this line... Oh, he's not doing it. Okay. I was gonna say, if you've already committed to this line of play, wouldn't you just, go for the Aegis now? But, I mean, he does get to take out two things this way instead of just one.
Oh,
That's true. He gets to banish even the Bone Chimera. Aether wouldn't have been lethal, but Aether on this board would have pushed a lot of face damage, and Aegis wasn't, because it couldn't evolve and kill one of the wards, it wasn't proactive enough to stop him from losing had Aether come down, so...
Right.
And he didn't get it.
No, but he still, as you mentioned before, has access to that White King.
He can also flood the board this turn. He can throw in one of his wards, play that zombie party, and then either play Grimner or White King. He floods the board out. Aegis becomes a horrible card in Hackterox's hand, and he basically has to draw Themis to answer that.
Yep. This is exactly what I was talking about earlier when I said that, you know, it's super hard to play the I guess you're taking a risk no matter what decision you make.
When it's not able to evolve, it definitely feels much weaker. Tribunal. That'll trade 4 mana for a zombie here.
Yeah. This is yet another position he cannot. I mean, I guess he could play the Aegis, but I just don't see how.
He's gonna go for tea time into Tribunal. I like this play better.
Yeah. But now he's just never gonna get this. He's never landing this Aegis.
Probably not. Soul Conversion onto Lurching Corpse here to dig for Ether, doesn't find it.
And then gets another Death's Breath. Oh my goodness.
Death's Breath will also, if you cast it when you have zombies on the board, it retroactively gives them all ward as well. So,
yep.
Not only will it put 3 fresh ward zombies on the board, but it will also give those 2 2/2s ward and buff them to 2 3s.
I think Hackterox is seeing the writing on the wall.
He has to rebuke Heaven, but it's not gonna matter.
I think Heaven rebuked him.
He gets rushed down by zombies.
Yeah, that's exactly what we were talking about earlier. It's just this is such a difficult matchup for Haven.
Talk to me a little bit after BHANHacterox kind of loses 2-0 to Gengur. Talk to me a little bit about that decision to actually use the evolve points early here. Do you think that was a crucial mistake,